Okay, so I just finished watching The Promised Land, season 1, episode 3, Pitfalls, for the second time through now. So my first impression of watching it through the first time is I didn't think it was as funny as the first two. I think it felt like kind of a decline in the humor department. Well, the jokes didn't quite hit with me as much. There were still some funny moments, but overall, judging it from a humor standpoint, I thought it was kind of in third place compared to the other two. But rewatching it, I definitely think it had a lot of good biblical moments and lessons in it. So it was probably the most serious of the three. And educational in terms of seeing like the politics of how just how the community that Moses or that Aaron was overseeing turned on him and was like wanting to. They were just basically wanting to follow somebody that was telling them what they wanted to hear instead of being a leader. Like what Moses was good at. He was identified as being gifted and wanting to give the people what they needed, even if it wasn't what they wanted for themselves. And Aaron didn't really have that gifting. He was more about entertaining the Israelites, and so he couldn't depend on that gift. So he was trying to lead in a way that he was gifted, which was different from Moses. And even though he knew the right thing to do theoretically, he had the right rules that Moses told him what to do, and he gave him the authority, but he tried to tailor his leadership style based on his giftings instead of the way Moses was gifted, and it ended up kind of coming over back to bite him, I think, because he wasn't doing it the right way. So he kind of cowered to the people's demands when they weren't right, because his priority was to keep them happy and not keep them right. So I don't know, that's my takeaway. It was interesting how to I thought they did a good job of showing how the I don't know how the Israelites were doing the wrong thing, and how thought they did a good reaction from Moses. His righteous anger against the Israelites was believable and like done well. I thought that scene was like, he didn't like being angry, but he had a good cause to be, and like he was really the only one in the right, and everybody else was just kind of like a lemming following the dumb leadership down the hill. So I kind of relate with. I feel like that's a lot of times what Americans do too. So anyway, I felt like it was a deep episode, peppered with the humor of the show, but for the content that it was covering, it makes sense that it was the least funny, just the nature of what it was covering. So I'll give it a break in terms of that. It was probably the most deep episode in terms of the plot. So yeah, overall I think it was a good episode. Probably not the one I'll think back on for the best jokes, but definitely for the plot and trying to like understand the characters and the like the politics and stuff. That was like, I thought I was kind of on par with the last episode in terms of that. The humor in the pilot still stands out the most to me, I think. But anyway, those are, I guess, the takeaways. Not a lot of funny moments with Jasisi in this episode. He was there, but he wasn't much of a focus. So it was just kind of like, I think that's why his storyline, along with Korra, is the funniest. And they were basically just like politically arguing. I thought those scenes were relatable. It was like, privatize the well, the public one smell, or something like that. That it was funny. It was like, that's totally something you could see happening today, kind of thing. So it was relatable because of they humanized the politics of the time with like what could happen now. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah. So overall, it was fun and relatable. I like that about the humor in the show. It's sometimes borderline cheesy and funny, but a lot of times it's actually relatable and funny because it's human. So I like that too. So, good job. So I'd give this rating probably third place out of the 3. Well, no, I don't know. I'll have to digest it a little more. It's either second or third. I wouldn't put it as number 1. I still think the pilot, maybe just because it's the one that introduced, it might be hard to break that. Just, broke the mold in terms of presenting the show to me. So it might, I think second place is still an admirable place to be, even if, I'll have to make a final judgment after I see the whole series, but I don't know. It's either second or tied for second or third place, I'd say, in terms of my ranking. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye.